In tonight's video, guys, we are going to take a look at the new Freightliner update for the 1.43 open beta, which is hopefully going to drop very, very soon to be fully released. This update brings a few differences to the Freighliner Cascadia. It brings a new interior and a few options on the exterior, but it is important to note that unlike with the MAN TGX Euro 6 Efficiency Line 3, it is not a full new truck with full new customization options, rather just new customization options for already existing trucks. And whilst I was a little bit disappointed by this, it kind of makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the options that you get when you buy said truck, and then how it looks on the road, and my thoughts and opinions on the truck and the dashboard, etc. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we are in the dealership right now. Now, one thing I've noticed is that whilst there are only 5 models, and you can upgrade the cab from the basic all the way up to the 72-inch RR, you don't get the 2020 options that I'm going to show you in a minute unless you choose one of the later trucks in the 5 line. So as you can see here, you do get the Aero 2020 here, and I'll show you the difference between normal Aero X and Aero 2020. But if you want to get all of the 2020 upgrades that they've just released, you do need to select this final truck. I don't know why that is, because you can upgrade it to the same cab, but for some reason the option just wasn't there. It gave me normal Aero but not Aero 2020, so bear that in mind, guys. But we're going to jump in and I'll show you the different customizations that you do get, although there isn't a lot of them, and talk about the dashboard and stuff. And then we'll jump into the game and show you, and I'll tell you what I do and do not like about the dashboard. Okay, so here we are. So as you can see, the 5th model in the line does come with pretty much all the top-notch stuff already equipped, and there's not really much else that you can change from there, or not much that you would want to change from this, right? You've got the biggest cab, you've got all the Aero X stuff already equipped. So that is the 72-inch sleeper RR that you want in order to get all the good stuff. Chassis-wise, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. It does come with a 240-gallon tank. Engine-wise, you do get an extra 5 brake horse with this new model, although it doesn't really do much in the game at all. The performance of the truck is somewhat dampened, I feel. I was playing around, and obviously I do a lot of freight, and I've got my engine unlimited. Before this, I was able to get to 100 pretty quickly without too much issues, whereas now it seems to sort of reach its peak at about 93, 94. That's not to say you can't exceed that, but it seems to take a bit more work. If you play full simulation and don't generally exceed the speed limit, etc., that's not going to be too much of an issue for you, but it is worth noting. Gear-wise, again, goes all the way up to 18 speeds plus a retarder. Nothing really too amazing here from that. However, this is where things get interesting. This is the Elite Tan, or you can go with the Elite Grey. These are both new options that give you the full digital display and the different shaped sat-nav. They are very cool, and the sat-nav is much clearer to see, which is nice. The seating position in the Freightliner is still really weird. It still puts you really, really close to the front for some reason. I don't know why it zooms you in so much. It's just part and parcel of the game, I guess. But that is worth noting. And then you can also get a different wheel. Since we're in the interior, I will show you that wheel now. So the 2020 wheel is this one. This is the normal one. So as you can see, it's gone more sort of streamlined, if you like. It's gone in one single section instead of separating all the different sections here or there. It looks like the same amount of buttons though. And it also changes the horn slightly. It makes it a bit more prominent, a bit more easy to see. But there's not a huge amount of change in that. Now, obviously, I've got the wheel pack, but it would be nice to see maybe a tan version of the wheel or something, you know, just a little bit more. And that's the feeling that I get with this entire update to the Freightliner. It just feels like I need more. There's only a couple of things that have actually updated on the truck, and although they're cool and nice, there's not enough oomph to it. There's not enough meat to the update, which is a bit of a shame. Exterior. So again, tiny upgrades here. If you look here at this nodule, this is where you get the side skirt bars. And this is the thing that was missing if I went for the base truck and tried to upgrade it. This didn't here, it just was the normal aero. So with the normal aero, you've just got the side butts under here. With the Aero 2020, you get the flares on the arches that just basically act to give you a bit more aerodynamics. Now, what would also be nice with this, and I said this on stream today as well, is if they gave you a fuel rating like people have been asking for with the wheels. If you're going to add Aero X and more aerodynamics, let us know what it's actually doing to the truck. Give us a rating, give us something that means that we know we're going to be saving more fuel on our journeys. Something like that would be really cool. Again, the other thing that you get changed is the Aero X here. You've got the standard, the Aero X, and the Aero X 2020. If we go to the side, interestingly enough, you actually lose some of the flares from here. So if you look at the Aero X has got bits on the top. The flares seem a bit larger on the outward one, on the very end, which is interesting because obviously this is a more streamlined design for more airflow. But that really is all that you get with this new truck. And it's a bit, like I said, just disappointing. You don't get any extra chrome additions here. You don't get an extra Aero X for the thing. You've got the Aero Fog Lights 2020, which is the normal one. Then you get the painted Fog Lights 2020. But outside of that, there isn't a huge amount. And if you do select the old one, you completely lose the ability to have the Aero X 2020s. It just takes you back to this. So I don't know what I feel about it, to be honest. It seems a little bit underwhelming. It's nice. It looks great. It looks fantastic. The dashboard is, however, the biggest and really the only change that you get with this update. A new truck or just more customization options in the future would be really, really appreciated. But let's see how it drives, and I'm going to go through the different heads-up displays and tell you my thoughts on it and what I like and what I dislike. Alright, so this is what it looks like. As you can see, I've moved my seating position so that it's a little bit better and you can see a bit more, but obviously sitting further back makes certain things a bit harder to see. Now, if you take a look at the dashboard here, you'll see that there's a lot of information there, and some of the placement just seems a bit odd. Your fuel gauge is in the very bottom left hand corner, and it took me a long time to figure out where that was, especially since all the information it shows you on the main dash, especially if you cycle through, isn't really that informative or useful. Although I do like the fact that you can turn it all off completely and just have your basic stats there. But I feel like a better use of the real estate on the dashboard would be making that fuel gauge a little bit larger, especially since for people that are gaming, you're going to be traveling a long amount of time. So you're going to want to see just roughly how much fuel you've got. And the fact that it is taking up such small amount of real estate on the bottom left-hand corner is a bit underwhelming, just like the rest of this update, in my personal opinion. The other information you've got there, though, is really cool, and it's good to see that there's so many. One thing I would like to see added, and again, this is something that I talked about on stream, is maybe a way of changing the color of the LEDs, right? So maybe we could make it have like a red glow on the back, or a more blue glow, or just a bit more customization for the interior, especially since it's meant to be a digital display. Being able to change that color in the customization screen or the service station or whatever would be a really nice addition, and I wouldn't have thought take too much time to do. The sat-nav display, again, it's in a good spot. It's fairly large. I think that the fact that it's so rectangular instead of square is maybe a step backwards, and maybe an option to allow us to choose between the two instead of just having this sort of dual digital display combo. Maybe being able to choose the 2020 heads-up display and then choosing the older sat-nav would be a nice addition. Maybe if you could do that. I don't know if you're able to. But yeah, that's really all I've got to say on it. It's nice. It's a small improvement, but there is way more room that you could do. So Freightliner, SCS, if you're watching this, if you could collaborate a bit more, give us a few more options. Maybe there's a DLC coming. I don't know. But thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comments down below, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.